Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be chatting through how I did with my goals for 2022 and also some reading and channel goals for 2023. So I set my reading goal to 75 books for 2022, which I achieved. Tick. I think I read 86 books in the end. So a bit lower than what I have previously been reading in the past couple of years, but I didn't expect to hit 100. So I'm absolutely fine with that. 86 seems like a very good number. Very reasonable, very reasonable number to have got to. So yes, definitely surpassed my 75 book goal. One of my other goals was to continue working on my ongoing series and keeping my series list down, because I have found that my level of enjoyment is significantly increased when I read series back to back, instead of reading a book when it is released and then having to wait a year for the next one and then a year for the next one and then ending up DNFing series because I've forgotten too many details and I didn't love it. Like, it wasn't 5 stars, so then I just don't finish it. So I'm trying to get into the practice now of mostly reading only completed series so that I am keeping myself up to date and accountable and just reading my series through. And I enjoy them all. I think I did pretty well with that. I currently have, I think it was 24 ongoing series, and a lot of those are ones where I'm up to date on. There are quite a few that I do want to restart from the beginning because they are overhanging from when I was starting a complete series. So I do have a few there where I need to restart as the final books come out. I think I only have a handful of ones where they are ongoing and I could keep up with them right now. Like, there's 6 or so there, I think, where it's just on me and I can actively work on the series. So I'm very happy with where I am with my series. Then one of my other goals was to read more sci-fi. I call myself a fantasy and sci-fi reader, and I haven't actually been reading that much sci-fi. I am mostly a fantasy reader, probably more like a fantasy romance reader than a fantasy sci-fi reader. And I did give reading more sci-fi a good go. I did 2 vlogs on reading sci-fi, and I think I read some sci-fi books at other points in the year as well. So I did a sci-fi standalone vlog where I read 2 or 3 sci-fi books over a weekend, and then I did do a sci-fi duologies vlog where I started 3 sci-fi duologies, and I think I just read sporadically some sci-fi. Definitely worked on increasing my sci-fi numbers. I didn't find loads of hits. I still haven't quite found my niche in sci-fi. We'll keep trying with it. We'll keep going. We'll keep trying for it. But I don't think I'm going to set it actively as a goal for next year to read more sci-fi. Well, maybe I'm going to go back more to my fantasy roots. And then my final goal was author diversity and increasing my author diversity and trying to read from more diverse backgrounds, both in terms of ethnicity, in terms of religious belief, in terms of LGBTQIA+ representation, but mostly in terms of their ethnicity and diversity. And I don't feel as though I did that well with that. And I've had this as a sort of goal for the past couple of years where I want to read more diversity, but I didn't want to really make it forced, but I don't think it's quite been working. So changing that up when we get into 2023. That's 2022. I think I did relatively well. I have some things that I want to work on in 2023. I have some concrete goals, like a reading goal and things like that. But I also have noticed when I've been making my lists for my worst and best books of the year that it was very easy for me to make my worst books of the year, but it wasn't so easy for me to make my best books of the year. I think I've read lots of 4-star books in 2022, but I haven't read that many 5-star favourites. And maybe I'm just becoming more stingy with my 5-star favourites, but I really want to have that feeling when you fall in love with a book that you're obsessed with it. And I don't feel as though I've had that very often in 2022. I was looking back at my reading spreadsheet and I looked at my 5 stars from 2020 and I was like, wow, you read so many great books that year, Abby. So many books that are still your favourite books to date, that you still love them. And you read them all in 2020. 2020 was a really good reading year. It may not have been a great year, but it was great for reading. And I want to be able to get back to that sort of level where I am finding a 5-star book a month, maybe. And I don't feel like I've been like that. So I don't quite know there isn't anything, I can't exactly put a goal on that. I can't say I want a 5-star a month because that's not the way 5 stars work. Or if you even don't use ratings, but a favourite. I don't even know how I'm going to find a way to do this, but I want to be able to pick up books that I know I'm going to love and really finding that obsession again. So maybe that's why I'm saying don't put such a concrete goal on sci-fi. Go back to my roots. And my roots are epic fantasy and fantasy romance, and going back to those roots and reading those books, because that is where I get most of my enjoyment from. And I really would like to get back to a point where I struggle to create a 10 best books of the year, because I've got so many choices, and not because I'm going, oh, I don't have 10, because there was a lot of good here, but there wasn't a lot of amazing. And I'd prefer it if it was harder for me to create a worst books of the year, because I don't have that many worst books or disappointing books. There isn't really a goal there. It's just maybe trying to change something up and maybe listen to my fantasy loving self. But anyway, concrete goals that I want to work on. I am going to stick with the 75 books as my reading goal. That hasn't really changed very much in the past few years. I feel like I don't want to make it something unattainable, but I do feel like 75 is a good number for me. And I don't feel like I could get to 100 this year. I don't know. Life's busy. Life's busy now. I don't know. It feels so much busier now than it did pre-COVID. I'm like, maybe I just can't cope, can't deal with the busyness now. Anyway, there's that. I want to, maintain my low series number. I feel like that's just an ongoing thing that I like to work on, in keeping that number low for my own enjoyment and for my own peace of mind, and being finishing things. I love finishing things. So just keeping that number in the low 20s. It can fluctuate, definitely. It can go up and down, but keeping that number lower. Reading series that are complete, and continuing to work on the ones that I have on my ongoing series list. I make loads of videos about my series list because I like to hold myself accountable to it, and I like keeping myself up to date, and I really love working on series because I am a fantasy reader. I love a series. So just, maintenance there, maintenance. And then I have two areas that I really want to focus on this year with my reading. So I have my physical TBR. And my physical TBR, I think, compared to a lot of people, isn't so overwhelming. Maybe for some people it would be, but for me, I think it's a little bit too high. So currently I have between 80 to 90 books on my physical TBR. When I filmed my physical TBR video, I think it was about 90. It did go down to about 80 in December, and then I did get a few books for Christmas, so it's probably in the mid 80s now. That's fine for some people, but I would like it to be smaller, and I feel like a realistic goal for this year is to get it to below 50. Not quite cutting it in half, but getting it below 50, and I hope that that's an achievable number. Currently my TBR occupies 3 of the shelves on my bookshelf, and I'd like for it to only occupy 2, ideally. I've managed to remove the double stacking on my TBR shelf, so I did used to have double stacks. Now I've been able to read enough that they're no longer double stacked, but I would ideally like it to get to just 2 shelves and under 50 books, which I think could be achievable. I think I should hopefully be able to do that if I prioritise reading what I have. And I feel like 50 is a much more reasonable number than 90. I don't know, I feel like 50 gives me like a good amount of options, that there's a lot there. That 50 is a lot of books, but it's not an overwhelming number. If I can get it below that 50 mark would be ideal. And then the other one is reading diversely. So it's been on my to-do for a couple of years, but I wanted to be subconscious. I didn't want to put a number on it, but actually I think for me to get to the subconscious point, I need to make this a conscious thing and actually actively work on reading more diversely. I'm going to be more targeted with it, and just more proactive with reading diversity. So when I create my series to start in 2023 and my TBRs, I want to always make sure that there are diverse authors on that list, because if I'm starting diverse series, then that is going to really help me read diversely. If I'm starting a trilogy by a Black author, then there we go, that's easily 3 books that are from a Black author and from a diverse voice. Whereas if I put loads of series on by white authors, then that automatically hinders me in reading diversely. So it's just, I want to be more proactive. I think I'm probably, I haven't got the stats exactly for the percentage of diverse voices that I read in 2022, but I think from a non-white background, it was about 20%. So I really want to be able to increase that. So if you've watched my series to start in 2023, then you'll see that I put 50-50 between white authors and non-white authors. And I really want to try and actively work on that as the year goes on and make it a choice and ensure that the series I'm starting are diverse. I don't want to be too dramatic with it, but if I'm currently at 20%, I want it to be, 35% non-white authors. I think going from 20 to 50% is probably quite a dramatic increase. And that might be a bit too much of a challenge to do 50% non-white authors. But if I can get to 35, 40%, then I'll be really happy. I feel like that would be a good target to get to. So I think that's what I'm going to aim for. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to be super regimented with it, because at the end of the day, I do want to be reading books that I am thoroughly enjoying. As I said, I really want to get to the end of the year and struggle to pick my best books of the year because I had too many 5 stars. And so that is my priority in reading books that I thoroughly enjoy over sticking to goals. It's a hope. It's a hope that I can read from more diverse backgrounds, not because I want to hit a target or a goal, but because I want to be able to experience different cultures and see the world through different lenses and experience the world through eyes that I would never be able to experience before. I read a lot of the time for escapism, I do, but I also read to expand my knowledge and expand my viewpoints of the world. And I feel like if I'm constantly reading from people who have lived the same life experience as me, then I'm not going to be doing that. So I should be reading from voices that are different from mine and experiencing their languages, their cultures, their religions. And a lot of the time, I do really thoroughly enjoy reading books from a different background from mine. That's where I'm going with that goal. So those are some bookish goals. In terms of my channel, I want to be posting at least once a week. Since I started my channel, I've been posting twice a week mostly. And I have struggled. I have struggled a little bit with that at the back end of 2022 due to life being too busy. And I did manage to pretty much always stick to a 1 video a week. But the 2 videos became a struggle. So I would like at least do 1. I'd hope I can keep with the 2, but I am struggling a little bit with my time. So at least putting up 1 video a week as an aim for the channel, because I am thoroughly enjoying this. I do thoroughly enjoy filming, creating videos, and I do find it a nice creative outlet that I don't get in my day-to-day job. And I do love gushing about books. I mean, that's why I love talking about books. I love gushing about books and sharing my love of reading as a whole, like the whole act of reading and sharing my love of it. So there is so much that I enjoy about my channel, but I am struggling a little bit with my upload schedule. I might go down to that 1 video on a Wednesday, and the Saturday video could be a bonus. We shall see as the year goes on. We shall see what happens. But for right now, you'll hopefully get your 2 videos, because I've got lots of ideas as of right now, but it might go down to 1 at some point. So that's that. And I would love to hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm currently 3,700 odd. I feel like I go through like peaks and troughs. Like sometimes I gain a couple of hundred quite quickly, and then it goes really slow. So it's been a really slow month, but I would love to be able to hit 5,000. I don't typically set subscriber goals, but I feel like that would be like a really great milestone to hit. One of my other goals, it's not really a goal, I felt a little disconnected from the community a little bit in 2022. That I have still been putting out videos, but I don't feel as though I've been actively taking part in loads of things within the community. I haven't been taking part in loads of read-alongs or buddy reads or discussions or being on Discord. When I started my channel in 2020, I was on Discord all the time. I've been furloughed, I wasn't working. I had loads of time to like put into things like reading and this and being part of the bookish community. And I have really struggled with that in 2022. I have really struggled to be part of the community and be active online. I'm not the most like sociable person. I love being alone, and I think I've really struggled with that sociable aspect of booktube this year, and that has made me feel a little bit disconnected from the rest of the community, that I haven't actively been seeking out taking part in discussions or seeking out the friends that I've made, because I think life has got away from me a little bit, and I would love to be able to get back to that. I would love to be able to get back to taking part in discussions and being more active within the community again. Yeah, just bonding with the friends that I have made through my channel, because when I am in discussions and when I am chatting with the friends that I've made, I really enjoy myself. When I looked at my life and looked at what I had going on, it was something that I had to drop. There's only so many hours in the day, unfortunately, and what had to go was being as sociable as I was online and having that online presence. I don't think I can get back to how I was in 2020 with how active I was on Discord or Instagram, but getting to still have those communications with friends, because I do feel a little bit disconnected, and that is totally on me. That is totally on me, but I miss that more community aspect of having a channel. I created my channel because one, I love reading, and two, I love the community around books and discussing books with friends, and I really want to get back to having that more of that community feel and that being around bookish people that love reading. So I guess it's just reprioritising a little bit, reprioritising what's important for me in my life, and maybe posting on my Instagram again, because I've posted some stories, but I've not been very good at posting a post. And my dad did tell me I should try TikTok. So even my dad is telling me I should try TikTok on Shorts. So maybe trying that, but I don't know. Anyway, those are some wrapping up some of my goals from 2022 and chatting through some of my plans, goals for 2023. Let me know how your goals went for 2022 and if you have any plans for 2023. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye.